Piaget is too classy and elegant for me to say the phrase "hold my beer," but perhaps it's apt to say that Piaget's ornamental stone dial lineup for watches and wonders is a "hold my champagne" kind of lineup. Yes, stone dials are ubiquitous today, but Piaget was long ahead of the curve in trend, and with many, many decades of experience mastering ornamental stone, well, the proof is in the horological pudding. Here are some of the key releases from Piaget at Watches and Wonders 2026. The new Swinging Pebbles lineup perhaps best showcases Piaget's stone mastery because, well, what other watchmaker in the world do you see working with ornamental stones in this way? Each piece is carved from a single slice of ornamental stone, your choice of tiger's eye, verdite, or pietersite, hollowed out to house a manufactured movement, then sealed to form a smooth, organic pebble-shaped case. 3 stone choices each bring their own character. For example, you can see the warm, striated amber of the tiger's eye variant we have here in hand, or you can explore the deep mottled green of verdite or the stormy iridescent blues of pietersite. Regardless of the stone you opt for, no two will be identical, which is precisely the point. It's a deceptively simple idea that requires considerable craft to execute. The stone has to be worked precisely enough to contain a movement without compromising its structural integrity or natural beauty. Each pendant then hangs from a twisted gold chain, a nod to Piaget's long-standing expertise in goldsmithing and chain making. I know in this day and age, most of you watching this want your watch on your wrist, but there is a poetry here in that timekeeping objects are irrefutably near and dear to our hearts. Okay, now I want to turn my attention to the Polo. The Polo has been thrust back into the limelight, and no, I'm not referring to the Piaget Limelight Gala. But look, hype can be a bit of a derogatory word amongst pure watch circles, but a bit of hype is not a bad thing, especially when a broader audience is rediscovering one of an esteemed watchmaker's most esteemed designs. The Polo 79, a revival and reinterpretation of the original Yves Piaget design Polo from 1979, brought the spotlight back onto Piaget's sportiest collection. However, being Piaget, a sporty edge does not come at the expense of a glamorous, jet-setting sense of style and aesthetic. Whereas most watch designs would be described as a watch with a bracelet, the Polo was born as the opposite, a bracelet with a watch. The result was a very fluid design with fluid and continuous gadroons running across the bracelet, case, and dial. This signature design element and pointed distinction was eventually phased out of the catalog, but in 2024, it made its triumphant and unapologetic return with a 18-karat yellow gold model. We have since seen a full 18-karat white gold variant and a two-tone white and yellow gold variant. But now we have our first Polo 79 to incorporate a stone dial, merging 2 strong essences of Piaget together. Piaget pairs the blue hue of Sodalite with 18-karat white gold, the spaces between the gadroons on the dial housing slices of the ornamental stone that, with each slice, exhibits its own unique natural pattern. The blue is perhaps too dark to describe it as, a faint, cloudy swirl of white against the backdrop of the sky, but perhaps it's almost like the foam of a wake in the sea. Look, neither image is spot on, but there's an undeniable natural quality to its look, and again, no 2 dials will look exactly alike, making each piece truly the owner's own. My last note on the dial is that, likely due to the usage of Sodalite, you will notice that this dial, unlike the full precious metal models that preceded it, does not have a studded hours and minutes track. I think this was the right call, as it ensures the natural beauty of the stone is left uninterrupted, at least beyond the gadroons. For those not as familiar with the Polo 79, the case was modernized with a 38mm diameter, a perfect sweet spot for many in this day and age, and it has a case thickness of just 7.45 millimeters that continues to respect another long-standing signature of Piaget watches, ultra-thin cases. This slenderness is made possible due to its usage of the in-house automatic 44-hour 1200 P1 caliber, its circular striping, thin beveling, and micro rotor all visible via the exhibition caseback. Now, the Polo 79, though complex in its construction of the case style and bracelet, exhibits strictly the hours and minutes. But there are Polo watches that, mechanically speaking, are far more complicated. The Piaget Polo Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin made its debut at Watches and Wonders 2023 with a dark emerald green dial, and was shortly followed up with an obsidian dial variant not much later that year, and a green obsidian dial version last year in 2025. For 2026, Piaget has elected to bring Onyx into the mix. Its deep black hue, far less bold in its color expression. Though the dial is devoid of color, it is not devoid of intrigue. Its deep black perhaps contemplative instead of colorful. Personally, I find it makes the dial feel crisper and more legible, the indications of the Perpetual calendar more clear to the eye to read. And to be clear, the design is by no means without color. In fact, the stones set within the bezel are, if anything, accentuated further in their contrast, popping against that black backdrop. Its 18-karat white gold case measures 42 millimeters in diameter and is very slender for a Perpetual calendar at 8.65 millimeters in thickness, only a little over a millimeter thicker than the hours and minutes only Polo 79. This is made possible by the in-house micro-rotor automatic caliber 1255P, which is just 4 millimeters thick despite packing in a high complication Perpetual calendar that indicates the hours, minutes, day, date, month, leap year, and moon phase. The case is paired with a dial-matching black rubber strap, adding a casual yet suave edge to its look. Once known as the Black Tie Watch, now formally and officially known as the Andy Warhol, Piaget has come to the fair with multiple new variants. We were able to get hands-on with 2 rose gold executions, one with a blue quartz dial and the other with a Bullseye dial. If you're seeing a similarity between Tiger's Eye and Bullseye, don't worry, it makes complete sense. Bullseye, also known as red tiger's eye, is a heat-treated or oxidized variety of golden tiger's eye, which results in the deep red-brown color you see on the dial. And because of this wood-like red-brown hue, it pairs excellently with the red hue of the rose gold case. I'm glad Piaget took this extra step rather than putting the tiger's eye found in a previous white gold model into the rose. It just blends so much better to have that tonal match between dial and case. Whereas the Bullseye Andy Warhol case utilizes a clou de Paris pattern, the blue quartz variant has thin polished steps. Both cases, however, measure 45 millimeters in diameter, 8 millimeters thick, and 43 millimeters lug to lug, for lack of a better phrase. And inside, each is driven by the in-house automatic 40-hour 501P1 movement. Which case style and dial do you prefer? Let us know in the comments. Lastly, Piaget has debuted a new High-Jewellery adaptation of the Sixtie, reinventing its legendary 1970s cuff watch using one of Yves Piaget's favorite stones, Opal. The Opal is set within the softly contoured and playfully asymmetric trapezoidal form of the Sixtie and is beautifully hand-engraved with Piaget's beloved Decor Palace finish. Listen, I fully expect to see this watch on a red carpet in 2026. In recent years, stone dials have become almost as much of a must-have in a brand catalog as a steel sports watch. With the dial being one of the most, if not the most, eye-grabbing elements of a watch, natural stone dials have become a go-to to get watch lovers to stop scrolling in their social feeds. It's just a natural hook for the eye, innately intriguing with diverse color and texture. Many watchmakers are now just discovering the wonder of stone dials and the manner in which they can really liven up a catalog. But then there is the king of stone dials, Piaget, who is looking at the current craze, probably thinking, these brands are only just discovering stone dials now? Sure, we're seeing stone dials at a wide range of price points these days, but as these novelties show, it's more than just the presence of the stone, it's how you use it. Some watchmakers are kind of just forcing stone into the mix because it's on trend. Piaget, on the other hand, is building designs around them, not exploiting them, rather paying tribute to ornamental stone through exquisite artistry that can only be executed as a result of the accumulation of mastery and expertise through over more than 6 decades of respecting and mastering the material. So now I turn it over to you. Which of these Piaget creations would you say is your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and the pricing details and specifications can be found in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content, and all of our Watches and Wonders 2026 content. And as always, see you on the next one.